Welcome to the Bearcat Coaches Show. I'm Graham Simpson. Last week, the baseball team went 3-1 with a win over Limestone, and they took 2 out of 3 from Georgia College on the weekend. We talked to Coach Burke about his team's performance and their preparations for Flagler this week.
We're here with head baseball coach Jason Burke. A 3-1 week. Got 2 big wins over Georgia College and a big win over non-conference foe Limestone. If you don't mind just kind of going through your thoughts on how you thought the week went.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can come away with a winning record on the week, it's a good thing for us. And I felt like the Limestone win, we had to scrap and claw and get back in that game and take a lead late. And the bullpen was really good in that game late, but also you've got to score runs to take the lead. And then versus Georgia College, we come out in game 1 and hard to win game 1 in this league. I mean, there's a lot of really good arms that go on Friday nights, or in this case Thursday afternoon. I thought 4A kind of set the tone for us. He did a really nice job until right there at the end. And we went to the bullpen, obviously, and they did a good job to secure that one for us. And game 2, they rolled out a really good arm. Their lefty threw the ball very, very well in game 2 and, kind of shut us down. But, still saw some good things out of our team. I thought Tyler Bowen did exceptionally well out of the bullpen for us. It's good to see Bennett Sloper have a really good outing, maybe the best I've seen him all year coming out of the bullpen for that short stint. And then game 3, obviously, Luke Johnson going out and doing what he did in pretty bad weather conditions, to say the least. And our offense, staying with it, and continuing to put up some runs, after being shut out in game 2 was huge. And to me, winning a Peach Belt Series versus a team that's ahead of you in the standings could go a long way. Having the tiebreaker with those guys as we come down the stretch, with 3 weekends left, I'm hoping that pays off for us. And, maybe we're tied with them for a little better seed and, able to take the better seed with having the tiebreaker.
You talk about the offense, especially in games 1 and 3, really clicking a lot. One of the players that really stood out to me, at least, was Gary Garrett. Hit about 400. I think he led the team for the week in hits. Had a couple of extra base knocks as well, a couple of RBIs, a stolen base. What have you seen from Gary over the last week or so, and especially the improvement in hitting?
He's always been a Gold Glove type center fielder for us. Since he's been starting there, starting last year. Offensively, he's tried a lot of things to get going, and really the strikeout numbers are what has really hurt him in the past. And these last couple of weeks, he just hasn't been striking out. With that kind of speed, I think he's got 3 infield hits. So anyway, I think he's always had the extra base hit capability. I think the strikeout has kind of been the thing that's really hurt him. And, as of lately, he's been taking his walks and hasn't been striking out, which makes him a very, very tough out altogether at the plate. And, we hope that he's figured some things out there and, can continue to do that down the stretch for us. But, man, he's been phenomenal.
And obviously out of the pen, Tyler Overholt, 2 wins as a reliever, 8 Ks, 0 ERA. Had opposing hitters hitting below 200 against him. It seems the bullpen seems to have, a guy who steps up at big times throughout the year, and right now it's Tyler.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal for us. I think it's his last 8 outings. He's been really, really good. Pretty good velocity coming from the left side, a good little breaking ball. He throws the changeup in there every now and then, but just can command those pitches. And when you don't walk people, it's going to be hard to score off that. And not only that, but he's racking up strikeout totals now. I mean, I think he had 8 strikeouts on the week, and just been a constant, steady rock for us back there these last few weeks while we get Bennett Nance back.
You obviously don't see a non-conference foe this close, but you go to Limestone on Tuesday, and then you're off to St. Augustine, which presents its own problems, having to travel the 6-ish hours down to Florida. What's the game plan going into this week?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to take it one game at a time. I mean, our message for the last couple of weeks has been just go 1-0. Just win the game that's in front of you. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about what's coming up next. So we'll try to go 1-0 on Tuesday at Limestone. They just played this weekend. They're playing again today. They've got a game after us on Wednesday. So I think it could be a good time to get on the bus and go play them, with them having so many games and, hopefully having to use their bullpen a decent bit. And then when we get to the Flagler games, we get to the Flagler games. But you're right, Hunter. It's hard to drive 6 hours, 6.5 hours, get off a bus and play. And, that's going to be a challenge that I hope our guys are up for. Maybe we stop and, let them move their legs around a little bit halfway or something. Get them there early, try to get in the hotel room early, let them get off their feet, get some rest. and hopefully be ready to play on Friday night when it comes time to do so.
Well, thank you very much, Coach. Obviously, as always, a busy week for Lander baseball, and stay tuned for more of the Lander Bearcat Coaches Show.
You've envisioned it before, your future. It's big and it's bold. Now, it's time to make it happen. Our experienced faculty and friendly staff work to provide a personalized and supportive academic experience that most institutions cannot match. Lander University offers fast, flexible, and affordable online and graduate programs for those who want to launch their career path to the next level. When you launch with Lander, the world will take notice. Learn more today at www.lander.edu.
Women's lacrosse picked up a huge non-conference 20-18 win over Belmont Abbey last Wednesday. Hear from Coach DeShiel about how the team played last week.
Here with head women's lacrosse coach Bob DeShiel. Coach, an exciting back and forth game against Belmont Abbey last Wednesday. You guys were able to come out 20-18 with a win. Just give your overall thoughts on your team's performance in a very emotional back and forth game.
Yeah, it was a wild one. Every time we play Belmont Abbey, we know it's going to be a battle. And we got out to a really hot start, getting up 4-0. Offense was clicking all day long, which was great to see. Defense had a great first half. Terrence Salmons in the cage was awesome. We knew that they're one of the best offenses in the country, so we knew they were going to get hot eventually. Second half, they really brought it, went on that 5-0 run to take the lead, but our girls battled, they responded, and came through in the clutch in the fourth.
So they went on that run. You called the timeout, and that kind of led to another run where it got into that back and forth nature, and you guys were able to respond. What was the message to the team in that timeout?
It was just really just trying to calm everything. We were making a lot of unforced errors, some turnovers that have kind of bit us in the past. So it was good to see them respond confidently. It wasn't anything that we said per se in the huddles. It was just they were able to rally, calm themselves, and make plays. It was all just them, the players making all the plays there.
Speaking of making plays, near the end, tied 18-18, about 2.5 minutes left. Emmy Peterson gives the goal to make it 19-18, but obviously Belmont Abbey came back multiple times and tied the game before. But you guys were able to get a big stop on defense, and then Mickey Burnett goes down, ices game with 30 seconds left. What did you see from them in those last moments with those clutch goals?
It was awesome to see. I mean, Emmy's been doing it all year long. Just when in big moments, being able to take over and get that big goal. Terrence Salmons made a huge save on the defensive end. At the draw circle, Brooke Kelly, Autumn Husky, and Kai Mori were really battling to get us possession. And then we had a really good possession late where Alyssa and Mickey were able to possess the ball for the majority of the shot clock, and then Mickey finished right at the end. So it was just really clutch performances under pressure, and it was just great to see.
You spoke about Salmon. She made several key saves, including the one on that last possession from Belmont Abbey. Was named Gulf South Defensive Player of the Week this week. What have you seen from her since she came into that starting keeper role?
Just what we see every day in practice is what we're seeing now in games, which is awesome to see her come into her own. And just be really, really poised out there, making huge saves in the league game, in the Belmont Abbey game, and just being a leader. Her number's been called, and she's really stepped up, and it's been really rewarding and awesome to see her play so well under pressure.
So now you guys have a week off, and then you guys head to Young Harris next week. What's the message for your team in this full week off heading into that Young Harris game with 2 conference games left in the season?
Yeah, so we just know that we've got 2 big ones coming up. Obviously, Flagler at the end of the year, they're nationally ranked like number 11 in the nation right now. So that's a big one. But Young Harris is a very, very talented team. It's a road conference game, so we don't want to look past them. We know it's going to be big for eligibility and seeding within the Gulf South tournament. So we're getting right to work. We're keeping it competitive this week so we can stay focused and hopefully go 2-0 in a huge week next week.
Coach, thank you very much. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
Loving you is where it's at. You've made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life.
The 12th ranked men's tennis team will wrap up conference play this Friday as they host number 15 Flagler. We caught up with Coach Simpson to get his thoughts on the top 15 matchup.
Here with head men's tennis coach Brett Simpson. Coach, you guys had a 5-2 win over a nationally ranked Limestone team. 2 straight wins after a tough loss to Columbus State. What have you seen from your team to be able to bounce back since that loss to the Cougars?
Yeah, well, that's the immediate thing that we talked about after losing to Columbus State is that, we have to respond. We have to, keep winning after that. So, yeah, we've had a couple of tough matches since then, but we've pulled them out. So, yeah, doing exactly what we wanted to do.
So, big key to getting those big wins is having depth in the lineup. 4 of your players have over 10 wins this season. Just talk about how that depth has helped you guys have success this year.
Yeah, we've got a tremendous amount of depth. We're using different guys quite often in matches, but they're all expected to win. They expect to win. No matter which guy I put out there, their expectation is to win. So yeah, we've had several guys that have a lot of wins, and that's how you do well. You need consistent performances. Generally on highly ranked teams, you'll see that there are certain guys that just win a lot of matches. They're very hard to beat, and so we've done a good job. Some of those guys have done an excellent job winning the majority of their matches. Almost all of them probably in some cases. So yeah, that's the key to success.
So look at the Peach Belt. 6 of the 7 teams are ranked, and then you have several are ranked in the top 20. Just talk about the depth of the conference and how it helps you guys prepare for postseason play.
Yeah, there's not one easy match. Not one easy match in the Peach Belt. You have to be ready every time you play. If you're not 100% ready, things can go wrong quickly against any of these teams. So, yeah, we've still got one more to play, but yeah, we're focused on every match individually. We don't take any match for granted because these teams are more than capable of beating you on a bad day.
So you talk about that one more match. You guys face Flagler, a potential PBC semifinal preview. Talk about what the mindset is heading into that match.
Yeah, I mean, us and Flagler are most likely, playing for second place. So tomorrow. So assuming Columbus wins out. So yeah, it's there's a lot on the line. It's quite possibly we would have to play them again, but in the conference tournament, but we'd have to win our first round, and they would have to win theirs, and there's no easy matches. But it's we want to win. We're playing at home. It's for our seniors, it'll be their last home match, but national rankings are on the line, so there's a lot to this match.
And you talked about that senior class. Just talk about what they've been to this program over the last few years.
Yeah, we've got 3 seniors. We've got Nicholas Chan and Joshua Gwynn, who have been with the program actually 5 years, COVID guys. So, both of them have been great. Josh has had some injuries later in his career. Nicholas has been a solid lineup player in singles or doubles most of his career. So, yeah, they've been great contributors. And Alex Creppy has, he's been rock solid in the lineup for us. He's been here for 2 years. It was a transfer, and he's just had 2 great years. Very good competitor, very hard to beat. Just can only say good things about Alex.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck this weekend. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coach Show right after this.
Open since 1959, the Dixie Drive-In is home to the Dixie Cheese. A short-order restaurant with a family-friendly atmosphere, the Dixie Drive-In offers comfort foods like burgers, fries, and sweet tea. Located across the street from the Jeff May Complex at 600 Montague Avenue, be sure to plan your post-game meal at the Dixie Drive-In.
Women's tennis wraps up their regular season as they host number 5 Flagler on Friday before traveling to take on Georgia Southwestern on Sunday. Hear from what Coach Allison had to say as the team prepares for their final 2 conference matches of the season.
I'm here with head women's tennis coach, Coach Allison. Thanks for joining us. You guys played 3 matches since the last time we talked to you, 3 tough opponents. What did the team learn from those 3 matches as we head to the end of the season?
Yes, so there were 3 tough losses. We didn't perform to the best that I know we're capable of, and so I think it was a lesson that we have to keep the intensity throughout the whole season. We can't really just coast through the finish line. So we're really trying to pick it up this week and finish strong. It's better to learn that now than the last 3 matches. So we're having a great week of practice going into the last 3 matches.
And you talked about it, only 3 matches left in the regular season. Start off with number 5 Flagler this Thursday at home, then Georgia Southwestern on the road Sunday, and then home against Newberry and make up, which Sunday or Monday will be senior day for your team. But how's the team's preparations? You touched on a little bit, but obviously playing Flagler as you head to the end of the regular season.
Yeah, so Flagler's always really tough competition. They really have a great program there, so it'll be really good to prepare us for the Peach Belt and for Newberry. Georgia Southwestern, I'm excited for that match. We have to drive to America, so not excited about that drive, but excited. That should be a good match for us. And then Newberry, we've played Newberry already once this season, and they look really good this year. So I'm excited to play them on our home facility and see how we can do there. If we could get a W against either Flagler or Newberry, that would be really good for our team going into the summer and building for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously senior day against Newberry. Talk a little bit about your senior class.
Yeah, so my senior class are actually all transfers, which is crazy. But we have Roberta, Emily, and Zena. Zena's a grad transfer, so we've only had her for 1 year. It's been a pleasure. Wish we had her for more. Ro has had an unfortunate season, has been battling some injuries, so we're hopeful that we can get her out for the last couple of matches, and so she can end her career playing. And then Emily has been a staple for us. I think she's been a really a good surprise coming in, and especially being nationally ranked in doubles a couple of times with Millie. And so yeah, we're really excited. It's really hard to see them go, but they've really helped develop our culture even as transfers, and I know they've left their mark.
Well, thanks for joining us today, and good luck in your last 3 matches. We'll be back after this with more of the Bearcat Coaches Show.
If you're looking for a place to enjoy good eats and good times, look no further than Sports Break. Great food, friendly service, and a fun atmosphere have been on the menu since 1990. So bring the family by for lunch, stop in to watch a game, or enjoy a late night with friends with some cold drinks while listening to live music at Sports Break.
We caught up with Coach Riddle as the men's and women's golf team prepare for conference championships next week in Augusta and a possible NCAA berth.
I'm here with golf coach Mark Riddle. Coach, men and women both had really good springs. Can you give us some of the highlights for the springs for both the men and the women?
Yeah, great spring season for both teams. Starting with the women, we went to Flagler to begin with, had a good finish there. Then we ended up going to LMU's tournament, also in St. Augustine. Finished second there behind Lynn, had a chance to maybe beat them at the end, but it was just a great finish. And so in the spring we've had quite a few top fives finishes. We just finished at Boca Raton at Lynn University's tournament. It was a really strong field, but we're kind of getting ourselves ready for conference now. We're in the coaches poll ranked 18th in the country, and I think in GolfStat 20th. We're sitting on that region spot where we just need to kind of go in and do a good job in conference and play well. We all have a chance, which is big for us. On the men's side, same thing. Got off to a good start in the spring. We're excited. We're sitting right now at 8th regions in the spot, and nationally 22. And so another good spring. Linus Johnson's had an unbelievable year. He just was nominated for the Arnold Palmer Cup, so we're excited about that. So now we're just getting ready for a conference, and it'll be next week.
Yeah, and you talked about conference next week down in Augusta. Had a couple of weeks off, both teams. Yeah. How have preparations been going so far for conference next week?
It's been good. We've been able to go to Augusta a couple times, play Forest Hill a couple times, kind of get ready for ourselves, get used to their greens and facilities there. It's a great place to host the PBC this year. So I know everybody's excited about it. Hopefully the weather hold off a little bit in the weekend. We can get a good practice in the next 3 or 4 days and be ready to go. We're wanting to go win both men and women. So we just want to have a good showing and get ourselves ready, and hopefully for region as well.
Okay. Well, Coach, good luck, and thanks for joining us, and we'll be cheering you on from here.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back after this with more from the Bearcat Coaches Show.
Break on the Lake offers a menu loaded with a wide range of delicious seafood and steaks, along with an amazing selection of handcrafted cocktails. From appetizers to soups and salads, Break on the Lake's food is served with an intimate space perfect for a cozy meal with family or a quiet date night. Whatever you're here for, you can always count on Break on the Lake for fresh seafood and a warm welcome from their team. Thanks to Sports Break and Break on the Lake, proud sponsors of Bearcat Athletics.
The men's lacrosse team rolled past Young Harris 22-8 on Senior Day this past Friday. We talked to Coach Laporte to get his thoughts on the win and the team's huge conference matchup with Flagler this Saturday.
We're here with head men's lacrosse coach Tony Laporte. Big win on Senior Day. Had to battle the elements, but came away with a big win over Young Harris this past Friday. If you don't mind just going through your thoughts.
Well, obviously Senior Day and a home conference game, so there's a lot on the line there. And the guys, we had a great week of practice, came out really well prepared, and offensively, things were just kind of clicking right from the start. All in all, a conference win, we'll take it. So, and happy to have our friends and families in attendance to celebrate our seniors.
On the national level, you guys are doing really well in terms of caused turnovers. Currently number 2 in caused turnovers per game. Obviously the big names that stick out, Britton Weems and James Lynn. Those two had a great defensive game against Young Harris, really shut them down. The Mountain Lions, outside of the first quarter, really weren't able to do much against you guys.
Credit to Coach Salter and Coach Gifford on that one. The defensive game plan was really solid. We were concerned. They had a couple of guys with pretty high point totals, and again, a great game plan. We defended well on ball and gave our goalies shots that they could manage. Those guys, and the defensive unit as a whole just did a really, really outstanding job.
Kyle DiCrisino had a really good game, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points, I believe. But Jeremy Rudrick also had 3 goals. He scored in back-to-back games now for you guys. What's his development been like coming, from Saskatchewan down here to the southern part of the United States?
Sure. Jer has he's been a little bit of a project because, as you mentioned, he's from Saskatchewan, and Jeremy had some pretty limited field lacrosse experience prior to coming here. So obviously he has the measurables. He's a big kid. He's got a great stick, and so he's just been spending some time learning the offense, learning how to play field lacrosse, learning how to play with his teammates like any freshman, learning our systems. And he's made the most of his opportunities, and he's seen his role expanding a bit. We have him on the power play right now, and running out with one of our midfield units. And he's, it's really nice to see. Anytime it starts to click for a freshman in conference play, it's pretty cool because at this point, now that we're in April, the freshmen aren't really freshmen anymore. He's got 12 games under his belt, so we like the way that he's trending.
Obviously, you mentioned in the thick of things in conference play, you have to go down to Flagler, who's having a really good season. They're currently tied with you right now atop of the PBC standings. They had a fantastic game against Shorter. I believe one of their players had 7 goals. But, having to travel that far, obviously you guys you're quite familiar with having to travel long distances, especially with the conference being spread out, going all the way from, South Carolina, Georgia, all the way to Alabama. But what challenges is having to go to St. Augustine present you guys this week?
Well, first, it's a conference road game, and those are always challenging. They're never easy, and we anticipate a real battle. The other thing that makes this a unique challenge is we've never been there before. It's our first time playing at Flagler, so it's a bit of first time for everyone. And so, but I think that the guys on this team have done a great job, especially this year, of doing a great job on the road, going into unfamiliar and hostile environments, and putting together a complete game. And that's what we're going to try and do this week. It's great week of practice. Prepare, get our minds right. And make sure that we have a great game plan, and then obviously prepare ourselves to go to St. Augustine and play a very talented, very well coached, and Flagler team that's honestly playing really well right now. So we expect a battle. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tony. Obviously, as always, a busy week for the men's lacrosse team. Down to St. Augustine on Saturday, and then you guys got nationally ranked Limestone here in Greenwood coming Tuesday. Stay tuned for more on the Lander Bearcat Coaches Show.
The softball team traveled to Florida and won 2 out of 3 from Flagler this past weekend. We sat down with Coach Crawford to talk about the series win and welcoming Georgia Southwestern of Greenwood for a huge PBC series on the weekend.
I'm here with head softball coach Glenn Crawford. Coach, this past weekend went down to Flagler. Like you said last week, you're home away from home. Was able to take 2 out of 3 from the Saints. First 2 games. First game came out, kind of dominated the Saints. Then the second game, they came out. The first 2 innings, jumped out to 5-0 lead. Slowly battled back and were able to take a 7-5 win. Freshman Emily Allen had a big day that day. 6 hits. 6 RBIs, gave y'all the lead in the second game. Talk a little bit about the offensive performance in the first 2 games against Flagler.
Well, I think we came out, the first game we came out, we put the pressure on them right away, and I think the first inning, if I remember correctly, Gracie Derrick had a 2-run homer to put us up and got the energy going in the dugout, and we just took off from there. And then Emily just does what she does. She puts the ball in play and she can run the bases real well, so that helped her out as well. But the second game, I think we took us a little bit to figure out their pitcher and what they were doing with us. But like I told Coach Gibbs, I said, I went over there in the top of the 7th, and I was like, if we can get a runner on, we'll win this ball game, because we had a lineup turnover right where we wanted it and had the right people. So. Did that and came back and fought, and honestly that was a team win. We had a lot of different people step up, whether it be defense, pitching, hitting, running bases. So I thought that game was really, really good. The third game, I thought once again Cam came out and threw really well. It's probably my fault. I probably should have had someone ready for her towards the end. She got a little tired and got a little flat, and they took the momentum back from us, and we just couldn't get that timely hit there at the end as well. So real happy with the way our offense played, our defense played, and really the way we pitched. It's just, that last game we didn't have timely hitting when we needed it, and that was probably the story of the game. But real proud of them, the way they fought and the way they went down there on Easter weekend as well. And games were changed a little bit, so we had to move around some stuff. But I thought we played really well, and Emily, I think it was her second freshman of the week, so she's really doing a really good job, and it's about what I expected her to do to come in.
And then this week coming up, you got the Hurricanes coming in this weekend. A huge matchup, as every matchup this time of the year is in the Peach Belt. Georgia Southwestern just ahead of you guys in the standings. What are you expecting from the Hurricanes this weekend?
I expect nothing less but their best. I mean, they're going to come in, they're third in the conference. You look at the record, you look at their pitching and their hitting. They're a very strong team, and somebody that could make some noise at the top, as they are. So we're going to come in and play our best games, and we're going to have to pitch the ball, hit our spots, and we're going to have to play good, solid defense and make the adjustments at the plate and just pass the bat and do what we know how to do. And I know every coach says it, but if we do what we're supposed to do and do what we know we can do, I think we'll be okay. But once again, every weekend since the season has started, we look at rain. So this weekend's no different. So how can we adjust, and how do we keep our energy and stuff with the adjustments that are coming?
And then also this weekend, last home series. Saturday will be senior day. Talk a little bit about this senior class.
This senior class, every senior class is special. This one's no different. I would say, looking back, this senior class that's leaving was like one of my biggest classes coming in. But you watch them come in as 18-year-olds and you watch them leave as young women, and I think they've done, they've grown over the years and have become who they are and ready to go off into their next step of their career and their life and their chapter. And that's probably the most gratifying thing for me is watching them come in as 18 and go out as young women and ready to for the next chapter in their lives. So it's going to be an emotional, special day for them. But they're a good group of kids, and they work hard, and there's no doubt in my mind they'll be successful off the field as well.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us, and we'll be cheering on this weekend. We'll be back after this with more from the Bearcat Coaches Show.
Welcome to Hamilton Park Apartments, your destination for luxury living in Greenwood. We feature studio, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. And first-class amenities. We'll see you soon.
That's all the time we have. Join us again next week to get caught up on everything happening in Lander Athletics.